Hey guys, and welcome back to Series 3, Episode 4 of the house renovations. And yes, we are in Series 3 and still unpacking.
I can't quite believe that we are still finding boxes to unpack, but the things we actually unpack in today's video is a good one. You already know what it is by the title of today's video, and that is retro gaming consoles. We finally find them in the spare bedroom and give them an actual home, a place to live, on display, making a very good looking backdrop, which is basically right behind this camera. Hear me out. Shelves. 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 Hear me out. Shelves. It doesn't sound very interesting, but trust me, it will be, because this area here is finally going to get its custom shelves made to turn it into a pretty cool backdrop. But the trouble is, this area is slightly awkward to kind of work out what to do. We've got one door there, we have another door there, Hollie's desk here, and having this door just makes it awkward because it obviously opens and closes against this. The shelves have to kind of be halfway because the door still needs to open, and Hollie's desk is the desk that we actually maneuver around to actually film in this room. So obviously there's a lot of moving parts here, so shelves are the key thing to basically turn this into a kind of workable, good looking type of area. A good looking backdrop, that is what we're after. And being custom shelves basically means I still don't really know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna make it up as I go along. So you might be wondering, why on earth am I building these shelves with this random piece of wood here bolted up into the beam above and also bolted into the skirting board down there? The main reason is I don't want to be putting any screws or fixings straight into this plasterboard, because if we flash back now to when we first did this room and we put plasterboard up, you can see that the joists don't quite line up, because I was worried that if we put heavy things on the shelves, then it would just rip through, because obviously there's no joist behind. So I'm basically building a joist in front of the actual plasterboard. The second reason is we are basically bringing this piece of wood off a little bit. So that's why I put that tinier or that little piece of wood in behind. Down here, we've actually had to come off of the skirting board because, again, I wanted to screw into the skirting board, not into the wall. So bringing this piece of wood off means that I can come off with that piece of wood behind. We're going to be putting some RGB LEDs basically stuck behind it. So this piece of wood will basically glow some nice RGB LEDs. Basically, it does make sense in my head. You guys might do it differently, but this is how I've decided to actually do this. And now you can see this is the reason why I left that little gap in the wood up there, so we can pull these LEDs all the way through. I probably should have tested this before I actually stuck it on, but moment of truth is, does it work? Yes. And if you're wondering, these shelves are going to be made out of this wood here. Now this is a really nice natural wood. We've done a very nice kind of clear varnish just to give it a little bit of protection. Now this wood is exactly 2 meters, so we're going to cut these shelves in half. So we have 2 1-meter sections of shelves. So that is the other reason why we wanted that piece of wood exactly 1 meter off of this actual wall to be able to house both of these shelves. Now we've got 3 different sizes. We've got 20 centimeters wide, 30 centimeters wide, and even a 40 centimeter wide shelf as well. So we can kind of choose how big we actually want those shelves, or how thick we actually want those shelves to come off the wall. Okay, so we've kind of flashed forward a little bit. As you can see, we've got 3 shelves up there, and I'm working on this 4th one right here. And some of you might actually recognize these matte black metal brackets. Bit of a tongue twister, matte black metal brackets. From a few videos ago, we actually used the same matte black metal brackets on the other side of the room when I was doing my kind of home office corner. So we wanted to incorporate them on this side of the room as well. Again, it helps with sort of consistency, and I really like that kind of wood and matte black metal. Again, if you've watched all our videos, you know that that's kind of a consistent theme that runs through the house. And I know a few of you actually reached out and spoke about these matte black metal brackets, and I will put them in the description down below if anyone's interested. They're only off of Amazon, so you can pick yourselves up some if you would like. They come in 2 different sizes, I think. So we've got slightly smaller ones for the smaller shelves, and then these are going to be the slightly bigger ones for the bigger shelves.
So while James has been building these shelves, I have found out a box of retro gaming consoles, which is what these shelves are for. They have been in boxes ever since we moved in because we haven't had anywhere to put them, and now they have a home. So as you can see, and as James has said before, these shelves are all different widths, and some of them have even different gaps between them, and that's because the consoles are obviously all different sizes. So we have left a bigger gap at the top for the 360 and the PS2 so they can stand up.
I think, Holly, that the 360 needs to face the other way.
Oh dear. James is getting fussy now.
Well, I can only see the back of it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
There we
better.
go.
That's
How's
better.
that?
That's beautiful.
Okay, and the PS2? Is it going the same way?
I don't know, you tell me. Yeah, no, that looks good.
So we were trying to decide if we were going to organise them by generation or by brand, like PlayStation, Xbox all together. And then we decided that actually just chaos is so much better.
And also, because the shelves are different widths,
And that's the other reason, yeah.
it meant that we couldn't actually do them in any particular order because these Xboxes are such chunks that they can only fit on certain shelves and stuff. And then obviously we've got the slightly smaller like Segas and Master Systems, and basically we've got pretty much all the old consoles, even the little Game Boys and little PSPs. Do you want to show off one of your prized possessions, Holly?
People will shout at me because it's not in box and it does have a scratch, but this is my limited edition Final Fantasy PSP that is a numbered one from Japan. And yes, it's out of the box. So now that our consoles have a nice new home,
and it does make for a pretty cool backdrop. I mean, it's going to change over time. You know me and Holly, we
Daily.
constantly change things. We pretty much will sit here like this and create our sort of gaming videos. This looks cool, but this old rickety desk is a bit worn out. It's very wobbly, and I think that needs an upgrade too. Gosh, that is a heavy one. Whew. So ever since getting my sit-stand desk a few videos ago, and I've honestly absolutely loved it, I use it pretty much every single day in that stand-up position, the lovely people over at Maidesite said, do we want to check out their version of a sit-stand desk? And I thought to myself, well, yes, that's the perfect upgrade to Holly's desk, the desk that she sits at, and obviously the desk that we use for filming our videos. And being a sit-stand desk gives us far more flexibility than just a very old, rickety, old desk. All right, so first up we have one of the legs, and I always just think these look like little robot legs with little robot feet. And this is the little control unit for the desk, and as you can see here, we've got different buttons so we can set our own custom heights to it. But another thing that's really cool is you can actually set a timer to basically remind you that you've been sat down for too long, and it reminds you to actually stand up. And obviously these desks you can get in a variety of different colors and shapes and sizes and stuff. And judging by this color, as you can tell, we went for the white metal legs. So, come here. As you can see here, we've obviously gone for a white desk top. Now that's a little bit different than the rest of the actual room. Obviously we've got a lot of wood everywhere else in this room, but the reason why we wanted to go for a white desktop is because we wanted it to be multi-purpose, multi-use, for filming our gaming videos, and I also film my kind of review videos, like top-down shots on a white desk. Basically gives us a little bit more sort of flexibility. And now the fun bit begins. So this is basically like the brains behind the desk and the thing that actually drives it all. So as you can see here, we got these two nice little grooves which just slot onto that bit of metal there. Nice and secure. Plug these cables in. So that's one of the leg motors. And then the other one plugs in here. And then this is the control panel, which I showed you just now. And then we just plug that into the back of it, just under here. The wrong way, there we go. Now this room is quite a small room and we're obviously quite restricted with what we can actually do with it, and what we want to do with it is a lot. And we've obviously just put up these shelves, which makes it feel a little bit smaller. So the last thing we wanted to do was to replace Hollie's desk with a bigger, bulkier desk, and it just feels too cluttered. So we've gone for the exact same footprint size as the pre-existing desk, which is 60 centimeters by 120 centimeters. But you don't actually have to buy the legs and the desktop. You can just buy the legs on their own. So if you do decide just to pick up the legs on their own and put your own desktop on, and maybe it's even bigger, you can actually do that and don't have to worry about it being restricted in size. So this extender will help you actually put the legs super wide apart if you actually wanted to. Now I really like the fact that they've actually included this cover as well, which basically covers up all of the cables and that control unit. But I've noticed a slight issue, and that is the fact that this is slightly too big. As you can see, it just hits the sloped bits of the actual legs, because if I tighten them too much, then it's basically just gonna buckle that whole bit of metal. So I think it's probably gonna be slightly better if I leave them slightly looser, so it doesn't bend and buckle that metal. But overall, I'm actually really impressed with the actual build quality of this desk. It went together super easily, and moment of truth is plugging it in, because I've not actually tested it yet. It works.
So I am super happy that I have now had my desk upgraded to a Maidesite sit-stand desk, because my job requires me to sit down all day. So now this should be a really good habit to get into, of standing up, and it does actually have reminders of every half hour, 1 hour and every 2 hours to stand up. But to be honest, that's probably just going to be a reminder to go make a cup of tea.
Now I am thinking of actually adding some wheels to the bottom of this desk, because you can actually screw wheels directly into these feet, which will make it easier to actually move this desk around. Okay. We haven't done it yet, but because we want to use this in multiple locations, one of them, like I said, for top-down shots to do review videos, and also our gaming related videos. So this is the backdrop, and this can be the kind of setup that we're actually going to be using. And if anyone is interested in heading over and seeing our gaming related content, where do they have to go?
I didn't know you were going to do that.
You can head over to our JHT YouTube channel, where we've got our gaming related content, where basically me, Hollie and our friend Theo create gaming videos. So I will put the link in the description down below if you want to go over and check those videos out.
I'm useless.
I have been wearing a t-shirt the whole video as well, and you're like, where are we going?
So I know we keep on about standing up, but I do quite like to sit down, if I'm being quite honest.
Hold on a minute, Hollie.
Oh, okay.
Bear with me. Hold on. I'm on my way.
You're bringing it in here.
This weighs an absolute ton as well. Good job this desk can withhold up to 100 kilograms of weight, because we got some new chairs as well. So I don't know how much standing up is going to happen. And it almost seems like the stars have aligned because Boulies basically got in contact with us and said we want to check out their new range of their kind of office chairs slash gaming chairs, which we've said yes to. Look at this bad boy, it looks so flippin' awesome. Kind of looks like a racing seat, a car racing seat, which I like. It's not too over the top gamey, but it still looks pretty damn awesome. And we've obviously got our 2 new desks. So new chairs, new desk. This room is turning into an awesome, awesome productive space. Alright, so now it's time to actually put this Boulies Elite gaming chair together, and as you can see in the instructions, that is all printed in colour, which makes it super easy to actually understand. And another awesome thing about this Boulies Elite gaming chair is the fact that all of the bolts are already in the chair, so we don't have to work out which bolts go where. We can just take the bolts out and put them back in the exact same position. All right, and there we have it. That literally took me about 20 minutes to put this chair together. Super easy, having those screws already in the actual holes, so you didn't have to worry about trying to work out which screws you needed to actually put this whole chair together. Made it so much quicker and easier, and there's so much like customizable bits with this actual chair. It can basically get you into any position you actually like. You've got all these different angles that you can do with the armrest. That's actually super useful, so when you're actually on a desk, that you can actually get the height of these armrests to basically line up with the desk, so you're never going to kind of like be sat kind of slumped or anything like that. You've also got this like handbrake lever here. If we pull it up, we can go ooh, we can go all the way back for the ultimate gaming and office experience. I think this is a little bit too far back, if I'm honest with you, but at least it gives you that kind of flexibility to get it in that perfect position. We can obviously go up and down as well, which is actually pretty high. As you can see, my feet are actually swinging off of the actual chair. And then on this side as well, we've got a locking mechanism, because obviously we go really far back, and then we can actually just click it down, and then it just locks into position there. And we've also got lots of different sort of lumbar supports as well. So this one is going to be for our head up here, and then an even bigger one, which we can use for sort of extra back lumbar support as well. So it should be nice and sort of ergonomic and get these into the position you want. I don't know if I'd actually ever use these, but if I do start to suffer with a bit of a bad back, at least there's an option there to actually give me a little bit of padding behind my back. But that headrest is actually like super nice as well. It's actually kind of furry, so on like a hot summer day, you might get a little bit sweaty, but they obviously easily come on and off as well. And Boulies do a whole range of different types of chairs. This is their actual Elite style gaming chair. This is the white one. So obviously it's predominantly white with a little bit of black, but they do a whole load of different sort of colors and materials as well. But we obviously went for this one because we feel like it's got the best fit for this actual room.
So I am actually really pleased with this chair. Some gaming chairs are just a bit too much, they're a bit too big or a bit too loud, but this one, being mostly white, goes really well with my new desk and really well with the rest of this room. But I do have one important test that I like to do for chairs, which you can't find any information for it on the website. But I do like to sit with my legs crossed, and usually there's not quite enough space to do this, but this chair has a lot of space actually. I don't even need to adjust the arms. I can just sit like this. So I think this is a big thumbs up for this chair.
And guess what, Holly?
We got two!
The lovely people over at Boulies actually sent us 2 of these Elite gaming chairs. That basically means now that both me and Holly have identical gaming chairs, and this room is pretty much complete.